Hi everyone, thanks for watching. I'm here at Premium Motors in Villa Park, Illinois. Here with Andy. He owns the place. Great selection of cars. I'm going to post a link at the bottom. There's a few cars that I'm going to review here at his place. So check out the link. If you see anything you like, call this guy. He's going to help you out.
And let's get one thing straight. The car you're about to review today is NFS, not for sale. But the good news is about 90% of cars here are for sale.
Hey, Andy, somebody once told me everything's got a price.
Yes, but if you go through the amount of work that I went through to get this car, you understand what I'm talking about.
I get it.
I am not selling this car.
I get it. So here's a quick intro before we reveal actually the car. And it's not this one, by the way. This one's going to be next. But before we reveal the car, I want to tell you one thing. While the Joneses of America were playing with their big 8-cylinder muscle cars, the average Kowalski family back in Poland was dreaming of this. All right, so you can't see the car, but I gotta tell you, it's so iconic. They made a t-shirt about it. And here it is, right here. This one is a 1992 Fiat 126P, and I guarantee you 90% of people that are not from Poland probably have never heard of such a thing. So let me tell you a little bit about it. This is a Maluch. We used to call it Maluch, and that's called a tiny one, little one, a toddler, however you want to call it. That's a little Fiat 126P, this one is. Now the Fiats were obviously, it's an Italian company, it's an Italian brand, and they started manufacturing this in 1972. And this car was to replace the very popular Fiat 500 at that time in Europe. Now, they only produced it in Italy for about 7 years. Now, in Poland, they started production of this car in 1973. Matter of fact, a few weeks after I was born in July, they opened up a factory. Now, they produced it until the year 2000. So there's over 3 million of these little things that came off the production line in Poland. Amazing. Why did I say that the average Kowalski of dreaming about this car? 2 reasons. One, not everybody could afford the car at that time. The second reason is, even if you could afford it, it wasn't that easy to get. You couldn't just walk up to the dealership and buy it unless, of course, you were paying in dollars. Yes, US dollars. Now, if you were going to pay in Polish zlotys, you'd have to wait, depending on the time, up to 2-3 years sometimes to get this thing. Not only that, this used to cost about 92,000 Polish zlotys. Now, that's about an equivalent of 17 monthly average income at that time. So you'd have to work 17 months, put everything aside in order to afford this. Now, this is a great automobile. And now it has some similarities to some of the iconic European sports car like Porsche 911. There's actually two. One, it is a rear-wheel drive, and it is a rear air-cooled engine, and those are becoming rarer and rarer. But in all sincerity, let's take a look at this car. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you a few things around it. And like Andy said, this one is not for sale. However, this brings a lot, and I mean a lot of memories from when I was a teenager. Now my family opted out for, their bigger brother. This is 126. We also had a Fiat 125, which was actually a little bit bigger than this. So we had 125s for most of my life, but we also had one of these in orange. Beautiful rusty orange. The advantage to this color was that you didn't see rust on it, and they were rusting very quickly, sometimes within a year of picking it up from the factory. So 3.5 million of these things were made in Polish factory over 27 years. Very few exist. Now, like I said, this is an iconic car. There's people, there's fan clubs, there's people that are modifying them. There's actually one that has, 300 horsepower. Of course, different engine, and everything else is modified. But there's such a mass of enthusiasts in Poland and abroad that love this car that it's not even funny. Now, celebrities also have this car. One of the well-known celebrity, Tom Hanks, has a Maluch, has the 126p. I don't know if he just got bored or maybe lost his Wilson. That would be a good replacement, about the same size. Right, so let me tell you a little bit about this car. This is a 1992 model. So that was towards the end of production. The last one, as I said, came off the production line back in 2000. And there's only over 3.5 million of these vehicles were made. So let's take a look a little bit more in detail of what this vehicle had to offer. Well, first of all, take a look at this massive wheels. They're 12 inches. Steel. Come on, aluminum is for wusses. I mean, that's the real steel wheels. Tires are brand new, and Andy was telling me there was really a pain in the butt to get them, as most of the manufacturers don't make them anymore. I did suggest that he could have looked for a lawnmower tires and probably would be more successful and get it faster, but that's a different story. A turn signal, look at this. This is an executive version, so it's probably one of the extra amenities that you would get with a higher end model. Side mirror is, it didn't say side mirrors, it said side mirror. It's only on one side. The other side apparently didn't need it. An air conditioning system. As you can see, it's a two-stage air conditioning system. The first stage, you open those little corner windows. The second stage is you get the car up to speed, and there you go, you have your air conditioning. Gasket. It had to have a lock on it, but that's not something that's unusual. Door handles, of course, and this beautiful communist red color. Love the car. Absolutely love it. If it was for sale, I would consider it. Maybe I'll actually import one myself. Now, this particular car did not come on the ship. It actually was flown in, so it came on the airplane. Amazing. I don't think it was the carry-on luggage, but it fit in the belly of the airplane very comfortably. As far as the portability of this car, I think my vice principal of high school can attest to it, that his car magically disappeared several times after he came out and couldn't find it on the parking lot. Now, 8 of us, well, 8 of people that I know, could easily lift it up and move it from the parking lot to a undisclosed location, which made him mad. Anyways, I think we reached the statute of limitations, so I don't think he can go after us anymore. Well, let me take a look at the engine. All right, so it is a rear engine. It is air-cooled engine, and this is a 2-cylinder engine, 650 cc's. I'll give it a close-up in just a second. Very easy to work on. This engine produced a whopping 23 or 24 horsepower, depending on the year. I believe this is the 24 horsepower. But don't be fooled by the low number of horsepower. These are not the regular horsepower. These are like power horses. I mean, these are so powerful. When I turn the engine on, you'll hear that they really want to get out of this engine. Now, what was also amazing that Poland made a camper that was made just for this car. Now, it was towed with different cars too, but it was a very light camper. It was N126. 126 was indicated that it was made for this Fiat 126. And imagine that people would take this car, 4-person family, load up for vacation, and take this car from Poland to Bulgaria. True story. People were doing that, and with the camper, 650 cc's, so don't tell me those horsepower are regular horsepower. I mean, take a look at these pictures. Alright, so take a look at this engine here. It's as easy as they get. There's nothing really that's complicated about it. It sits in the back. Again, the advantage of it is you can easily take it out with your neighbor's help and work on it on your bench, anywhere. Well, air-cooled system, and this one actually has an optional air cooling hook. Look at this. You take this and you hook it up right here. Hopefully you can see it. Okay. And if the engine gets too hot, you just drive like this with the engine cover open. Unbelievable. Anytime I look at this car, it brings back so many memories. Oh, there's a dog. There's this little dog thing that you can see so many of them, and every self-respectful Polish citizen had this dog in the back of their little Fiat. Yes, that's a little Fiat. The 125 was a big Fiat, and this is a little Fiat. So I'm going to go on the inside, or before I do that, let's take a look at the trunk space. It actually has a trunk in the front, and we open it up and see what's inside. Well, I can't imagine that anymore, how a 4-person family could go on vacation and actually, fit in this little storage space right here. I know it's been done. Like I said, I've seen it before. So you have your spare tire that's right here. You have your emergency triangle. You have your toolkit to remove the wheels, and really not much underneath here. Here's your fuse box. That's it. Nothing more to it. That's going to be a quick review. The sound of it. Now, a couple more things to point out. One, obviously, this is a vehicle that was not produced or never had its entry into the United States market. So, if you didn't grow up or if you didn't visit Europe, you probably never seen one like this. The badge on it says Polski Fiat, which basically means Polish Fiat, and it was made under Italian license for 27 years. This one actually has a plastic back bumpers, black bumpers. Now the original ones had the chrome bumpers, and I'm not sure, I think it's sometime in the late 80s they changed that to plastic. I'm going to take a look inside of this car and show you what it is. Okay, let's take a look and we'll see your hand power windows. Yes, you do have to crank them. They don't go up by yourself. And the door handle. And this is a map pocket. Map pockets were actually used for maps, since there was no navigation before. Steering wheel, no airbag though. Here is your instrument cluster, and as you can see, this thing can go up, well, 140 kilometers per hour. Now, not that anybody would be crazy enough to do that in the stock vehicle, but like I said, there's been a lot of modifications done to some of them, and people are actually going a lot faster than that in their little Fiat. Beautiful communist vinyl on the seat. No headrest. Nobody needs that. Now this one does have a rear seat, but no rear seat belts. It's kind of strange. There's place for it. I wonder if they just didn't put it on. I believe there were seat belts in the back actually too, so maybe just this one doesn't have it. In here you have an ashtray, a very important part of the vehicle, and this one actually has the original radio made by Unitra. Wow, wonder if it works. We'll check it out when I'm driving it. No glove box, but you know, a lot of space actually underneath here if you wanted to put something in here. Obviously a manual transmission. This is a 4-speed and the reverse, and then you have your choke right here. Now the older models had a starter at the bottom here. This one already has an electric ignition, you know, just like modern day cars have. What else is here? You can turn your fan on, you can turn your fog lamps on this side, and on this side, really simple. You have your lights, you have your rear window defroster, I think that was an option, and hazard lights. And then of course you have this little dial for the brightness of, actually this is for windshield wipers. There's a story about windshield wipers too. We're coming back from somewhere with my friends, and the windshield wipers stopped working. We literally have to attach the line to one windshield wiper and then the other one on the other side, and through those little triangle windows we were actually able to pull, you know, one side and then pull the other side and get the windshield wipers to work. What else is here? Well, an interesting headliner. Now this is made from carpet, I guess. This is the original headliner, but I tell you, I mean, this looks like an old carpeting in here. Okay, well, that concludes the interior portion of it, and you know, I'm gonna take it for a spin in just a little bit. Told you guys, those are not real horses. They are eager to get out of this engine through these high performance exhaust system right here. Purebreds, that's all I have to say. The sound of the approaching thunder, super speed, little Fiat 126. And there he goes, as always, first. Here it is again. You like your little thing, right? Look at the turning radius on that thing. It's probably actually worse than some of the large modern era cars, but it's turning. I'm not laughing at it, I'm laughing with it. I honestly can't believe that I'm sitting in Maluch in this 126p car. Honestly, it's been probably at least 30 years since I've sat in one and driven one, and here I am, thousands of miles away from its home country. I'm in one of them, so this is amazing. Now it's running right now. I have, as you can see, I have the AC on. It's about 95 degrees outside, so I apologize if I'm a little shiny, but we're gonna take it for a spin because I don't know when is the next time that I'll be able to have the opportunity to drive one like this. This is cool. This is like driving a kid's car. Honestly, I'm excited. It's like, I've driven plenty of cars in my career or in my job in the car business. You can hear it. This thing is loud. It says it can do 0 to 60 in about 48 seconds, but I don't think we're gonna try it. I mean, we're doing 60 kilometers per hour right now. It actually feels pretty peppy. Seems very compact, as you can imagine. Unbelievable. I'm driving my childhood memory. This is awesome. Oh, I forgot there's only 4 gears. I was gonna put it in the 5th gear, but guess what, there is none. Hey, the AC works pretty good. Honestly, this is simple, as simple as they get. There's nothing to it, but so much fun. Brakes are there, but I think they're very good, to be honest with you. I was thinking to maybe do a 0 to 60 test, but pushing that brake almost all the way in, and not that I'm having a hard time stopping, but it does take a long time, so we're gonna skip that test probably. I know for all of the people who grew up in Poland or maybe still live in Poland, I mean, you guys know that there's not many of them left. I mean, they've made 3.5 million of these little things in Poland, but there's a lot of them that were left on the side of the road. Basically, they rotted. Very few left in a decent condition. I mean, this thing, I can't believe it's got 0 to 60 probably in a minute or so. Here is 60 kilometers. Here's 70. Yeah, we're definitely not gonna do 0 to 60 test. I'm gonna take it back to Andy so I don't break it, because it would be impossible to replace one of those, but really nice. Let me see if the radio works. Oh yeah, the typical static that you get from the radio. No matter where you were at, you couldn't really play it because it was really tough to find stations. But I'm gonna take it back and give it back, although I have to admit that now I want one. Anyways, summing it all up, guys, I hope you like this review. Obviously, it is not a performance car, it is not something that's new, but it's got a lot of sentimental value to me. It has definitely great memories, growing up where life was as simple as this car, and I'm super happy I did it. I hope you like this video. I mean, I'm gonna try to find more cars like this that are different than the regular cars that you see on the road, and do reviews. You seem to enjoy it a lot more. So what I'm gonna do is take it back and see you guys in another video. Take a look at my channel. If you like it, hit like. If you want to see more of the videos like this, hit subscribe so you get notification every time I post something. There's a few in the works, so there's going to be a few videos dropping very soon. Cheers.